Well, you're all here this evening as winners of the Tech for Good prizes. And so perhaps you could all just give yourself a brief introduction and really tell us how social impact is embedded into your business model and your DNA.
Okay, thank you. I mean, for Doctolib, it's pretty embedded. I mean, it's at the core of our model to transform healthcare. So in this way, we have the same mission as the state. And for example, in terms of what kind of impact Doctolib can have, we just saw some numbers that each single doctor, there are 100,000 doctors working with Doctolib today, is saving around 2 hours, 45 minutes each week of admin time. And this time can be invested in treating more patients or also reducing appointment delays. So such impact as, for example, some specialty where you have a low availability of doctors like ophthalmologists, we reduce the delay from 10 weeks to 7 weeks, and we make it possible to have appointments within a week for emergencies, which was not possible before. So this is the kind of thing that, kind of impact that Doctolib can have on healthcare, and we're looking forward to further partnering with the state and with healthcare professionals to keep improving healthcare.
So as for open classrooms, well, it's our mission. It's embedded in our company bylaws, actually. Our mission is to make education accessible. So we have a goal of accessibility. All our courses are available for free. So we make money by training with mentors, but all the content is available for free. And the goal is to help people get skills so they can get jobs that are in high demand. So the impact, we're measuring it. You'll see it if you come our offices. At the entrance, you see a job counter. It's a number of jobs that we have helped to create at Open Classrooms thanks to online training. So that's what we do.
How many is that at the moment?
Well, last time I counted a bit more than 6,000. 6,000 in a year. So that's a first step, and our goal is to place 1 million people in the workforce by 2025.
Hello everyone. So at Ynsect, impact is in the DNA. With my co-founders, we were activists in NGOs related to food sustainability before. And what we do at Ynsect, we farm insects and we process them into ingredients to feed animals and plants. It's a 1 trillion market globally. And when we feed these animals with our ingredients, they grow better, in better health, eating less resources. So basically, this is the framework of producing more with less. This is what we need to tackle all these issues like climate change. And then impact is consistency. It's not only environment, it's obviously social responsibility internally with the team, with our stakeholders. And this is why we have applied for the B Corp label, because I think it will show our commitment every day. And so we change our bylaws, obviously, to show this.
This one. Hi, everyone. So it's going to be a bit the same. It's a core thing. It's in the DNA of Backmarket to promote circular economy. So a bit like Antoine, I think the point for every one of us is to do more with less, to be more efficient as resources are limited on this planet. Electronic is the fastest e-waste stream on the planet. 50 million tons of e-waste were produced in 2018, so it's new record every year. So we measure our impact with the number of tons we save. So we aggregate the weight of our product. So every product sold on Backmarket are refurbished products. So it means it's a new life for them. It's already been sold once or twice before. So it's not a new product that is being bought by the user. So we have reached 1,500 tons so far. So out of 50 million, we still have a lot to do, but it's a good start.
And Mathieu, perhaps you could tell us whether you think that a business has to choose between having a social impact and making a profit, or whether you think the two can support each other.
Sorry?
But perhaps you could tell us whether you think a business can have a social impact and make a profit, or whether the two are incompatible.
So people tend to wonder, if you want to have a social impact, you cannot make a profit. And if you're making profit, well, you're not making any social impact. So there's this way of thinking that we kind of used to. Either you're for good, not for profit, or either you're for profit and you're a bad guy, right? I think this is changing in the mentality of entrepreneurs. People from my generation, I'm talking with them, and they just don't see this duality. They think they need one to have the other. That's a profound change, I think, in mentality of entrepreneurs today. They just think that if you want to make money, you need to have impact, but because this impact will create a lot of money in the long run. And if you want to have impact, you need to make money. Because without money, you cannot invest in the impact. So I've heard many times people say in the company that if we want to have 1 billion of impact, we need to have 1 billion in revenue, etc. So we feel like it's helping each other, really.
And what's your business model for making money at Openclassrooms?
So again, all the courses are for free, and people can opt in to pay to get a private mentor to complete projects. So the mentor is a professional from, if you want to become a developer, you get a mentor as a developer. And they will help you every week, personally, by video conference, to complete projects. They will validate your new skills. And at the end, you'll get a degree. So you can either come for free and on your own learn on courses, but if you need help, if you need proof that you got the skills, you can get a real degree, a real diploma online on Openclassrooms. And we don't stop there, because actually we help you then to find a job. We're only happy if you find a job.
And Antoine, do you agree with this idea that a monetary profit and a kind of social profit can go hand in hand?
Definitely, we were talking about this earlier today at the impact stage. In the impact overall stage, we address global needs, basic needs, how we eat every day, how we get transported, how we get in a good health. So this is just the largest market. Maybe in the past it was mainly driven by NGOs, non-profit, bottom of the pyramid business models. But what we see with the digital, we can develop platforms that do large economies of scale to offer new services to consumers. And upstreams, like we do, we try to change how we manufacture goods, because we need, obviously, to change the way the produce are done to eventually go to the platform. So we need new technologies. We develop robotics, machine learning, etc. in our 4.0 manufacturing systems. And I think it's showing that now technology is meeting this impact for profitability. And what I say, consistency, environmental good, socially good, and obviously with profit.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something on top of it, because earlier this afternoon we were discussing with Frederick about HR and the battle of talents that I was mentioning earlier. And what we see, and I had a discussion on that point with Kate Crawford. Kate Crawford is one of the leading researchers as far as AI is concerned in the US. And what she told me is that there is a battle for talent in the whole world, and there is a European specificity in that battle. And France and Europe are emerging as some places where you can do innovation, but with some values that are embedded from scratch. And those kind of image that we are conveying is something that can attract and help us attract a lot of talents that wants to do innovation, but also wants to contribute to the common good as far as gender equality, sustainability are concerned. So I think in the global battle for talent, this is a real asset that we can rely on to be able to develop and to really commit to tech for good technology.
And yes, is that something that you've noticed? Because clearly Doctolib is one of the fastest growing companies in France. I think you said you're going to hire 1,000 people in the next 2 years. So you must be interviewing lots of people. Do you have people coming to you that are very attracted by the potential to have a social impact? Is that a big sort of selling point for you, do you think?
Yeah, for sure. The reason why the purpose of the job has become one of the main driver of decision for talents today, I guess. And this is why, of course, it helps Doctolib a lot to attract good talent, to see that there is something, the impact is healthcare, right? And so all our developers, for example, they really enjoy going to doctor offices and seeing healthcare professionals using their solutions. So it's definitely a key driver.
And could you tell us a bit about the famous Doctolib Academy that all your new hires go through?
Yeah, maybe that's one of the components of what we call hypergrowth. I mean, for us, growing per itself is not a goal, right? But just healthcare is a huge sector, and there's a lot of people needed to change that. So that's why Doctolib's growth requires a lot of people, and we are indeed growing very fast. We went from 0 to 1,000 in 6 years, and we will grow 1,000 more in the next 2 years. And in order to keep our culture and to make this strong scaling successful, we strongly believe that one thing is important is to massively invest in people. And so we invest a lot in all kind of training. What we have a team internally that's called People Success. And a good example is this Doctolib Academy that we set up from day one. So any new employee at Doctolib will spend 2 weeks of Doctolib Academy, where we will share the vision, share the mission, train everyone on all the skills needed to succeed in their job, and also make them meet all other teams so that we can really work as one team with a common goal, with really aligned vision, even though we are growing the company 100% in 2 years. So that's one of the examples.
Thibaud, what's been your experience of growing quickly and of hiring, and the sort of challenges that come with trying to keep your culture?
So yeah, I'm kind of super aligned with what Agnès said. It's in the heart of everybody's. It's a drive when people want to work. Like today, more and more people are joining for the purpose of their job. I mean, we are all accessing, like here at least, to capital. So we have the money. Money is important for people, but the tech ecosystem is going well. I mean, like people find job more and more often, but they want to have a drive. They want to be, attached to something that they are doing and know what they have impact, positive impact. So I think it's a really cool asset that we have, and it's also part of the culture of the company, obviously. So it makes people stick together. So you can like have creative people, technical people, and business people, financial people, very different skills, but attached to one single project. And when you are like all the different talent joining and attached by this strength, I think it makes it super powerful. So scale and hypergrowth, I think, is super hard because you have many people to onboard. Like we are 220, we were like 60 at the same time last year, and we're going to double next year as well. So you have to keep the culture super strong in order to make people stick together.
And what's your experience of the market for hiring at the moment? Are there particular roles that are more difficult to get hold of?
For us, typically, it's not very original, but tech people are the hardest to get. So we are starting to use the French path to hire people from abroad. I would love to have more people coming from Openclassroom, so I'm really inviting you to push further on those people. We all need more engineers. I think what has been said this morning is we have, I think, one of the best engineers in the world in France. We are lucky, but there are not enough. So we have to find other ways, like importing to solve this problem fast, but also creating more schools, academies, push with Openclassroom in order to have more pool, and you can push like without counting. We need them.
So we're really working hard on it, obviously, because we have the capacity to scale. We don't have walls, so that's easier to scale. But I like to point out that we always are looking for people who already have a degree. I think it's interesting also to invest in new people, in new skills. So there are apprenticeships for that. It's a great way to train people so they can get a job quickly and be trained with you and with us at the same time. So we provide something that is brand new. It's online apprenticeship. So it's distributed. You can start at any time of the year. We can adapt to each individual and each company. The rhythm is totally personalized. It's completely new. And it's a good way for you to also attract talent. So it's one way to do that.
Cedric, perhaps you could talk a bit about how the special French tech visa fits into all of this in terms of trying to attract foreigners to France.
Yeah, actually, I mentioned it earlier. The global idea is that there's a global battle for talent, and we need to be able to attract talent from everywhere. So we need to be able to attract talent from Europe, but also from emerging countries such as India, Africa, and all this kind of thing. And what we thought at the beginning was that if we want to be able to attract talent from everywhere, then we have to fast track everything. And we have to internalize the constraint of the administration to be able to deliver to the companies and the people that want to go to France. By the way, both companies and investors, and so that they can focus on business. The idea is that we have to allow you to be able to focus on business. So if you need someone from Nigeria, then you can take him. If you need someone from America, then you can take him. And we are still making it working better every year. We modified it at the beginning of the year because there were still some issues that were to be tackled, and this is something that we will continue to do. And I mentioned the fact that I think that we have to take the opportunity of the Brexit, because the real strength of London here in Europe is that this is the center of the world, and we have to make Paris the center of the world.
Antoine, you've made gender balance a big priority at Ynsect. How have you been able to do that? When you look around at a lot of tech events, it is mainly guys. So how have you made it an attractive workplace for that balance?
First, I think I'm very proud of this prize in gender equality. It's the first time we have a social prize and not an environmental prize, so it's showing our commitment to be consistent, as I said. If we do just good for environment and not good for the people, it won't work. So we try to do, we have still many things to improve on this topic. Obviously, identical salaries for same jobs, that's the basics. I think one of the reasons also we got the prize is this paternity leave. I think for me it's a game changer. It's something for men, but eventually for women. Why? Because we basically we compensate 100% of the wage for the young dads for 10 weeks after the birth of their child, but also for adopted kids. And then it's a way to avoid this issue of career development for women, because normally they are always the only one to leave the company for a few weeks. They can miss promotion, development. In this new situation, then men also are leaving. So we offer the situation will be the same. There are no BAs anymore. So women and men can access to the career development. There is no excuse anymore from the management. And the second thing, I think, is back home, then dads are more present in the first weeks, which are super important for babies and families' development. So then I think it's helping also all these topics that have been in the press. I think last year with the comics on the mental load, charge mental. I think personally it will help just to for men to be more involved and gives automatics behaviors for the young dads to be more present, be there, and if starting from the birth of the child, it changes maybe hopefully how the life will be in the family, so in the company. So it's maybe a small thing, but I'm pretty sure it will somehow have a major impact in how we run the companies and how we live our lives between the company and back home in the family.
And have you had much uptake of that? Have you had much uptake of that yet from new fathers, or do you need to sort of change the mindset?
We offer these 10 weeks, and they can decide also. We were maybe afraid, some young dads would be afraid about what their colleagues will think if they were leaving 10 weeks. But we had first, I think, we were at least 5 or 6 young dads who took this opportunity, and they took the 10 weeks. And I think they were pretty happy of this. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You have to ask them. Some of them maybe the team is there. So.
Do any of you other 3 entrepreneurs have similar policies? Or not yet?
Not yet.
You should. No, it's a good idea.
I will join.
So you're all part of the Next 40, which means that you're going to be a big focus for the government and for investors and the sort of priority companies that France wants to grow. From your side, what are the challenges and what other support and help are you looking for that's not already being addressed through things like the special visa?
I mean, from our side, I mean, it's going well, so we won't ask for more support. We've already benefited a lot. But what we really care for is to make sure that in the coming years there will be more healthcare champions coming from the French environment. And I think for that what matters is that the public providers really work with companies in a really partnership mode to innovate. A good example of that is, for example, we organized with the Public Hospital of Paris, APHP, a hackathon in last May called Medi Days. And it was the first time we put in a room together 150 people with doctors, designers, developers, and just spending the whole weekend trying to think about, healthcare innovation and new project. And so I hope some of this project will be created soon. I think a few of them are already. And this is the kind of initiative we need to see because, I mean, the opportunity is so big. Healthcare is 11% of GDP. And there is really room for very big companies to arise in France and in Europe on this sector. And we are really doing all our efforts to make this happen as well.
So yeah, I guess we're getting already a lot of support. So thank you for that. It has to be said first. If I had to find something, I would say invest in people. Invest in people's skill training. It's the only way to create equality in a country. It's an investment. You're already doing that. Continue to do that on the long term, because otherwise we're going to scale as a country with more inequality. And that's not the society we want. And that's the best way to solve it.
Okay. So for me, thank you again. Like it's been great. Like this morning, we feel like we are getting on the same side of the net. And I know that last night I kind of said all the way around because it actually happened that way. But this morning and yesterday, I feel like okay, we are getting support and it's being real. Maybe if I can ask for more, because we can always ask for more. I would like to break a bit the way tech products are recycled. Like today, the only way to end the life of a product in France and in Europe is to put it to recycling, which is actually the worst thing to do if the product can still live and can still find a new user. So basically, we need to find a way to make them circulate as long as possible. And then when nobody else wants them, we can recycle them. And the more we grow, the more we shake like the manufacturer of new devices. We will keep on doing that. We love to do that. But then we need to give access to the feeds of the product that are all going to recycling, because 30% of them are still working, and I'm sure I can give liquidity to professional sellers through Backmarket on that. So that would be amazing. I mean, like, give access to the feed. It will create more value, and it will be more sustainable. So it's just a win-win-win situation.
And then maybe to add, indeed, there are so many things that have been done already in France, and I think we are on a wave, a positive wave, again, for more capital, attracting more talents, facilitating regulations also in many fields. And maybe on the other side, on the corporates, maybe there are still things to improve, relationship with large companies in our development, how we work with them, we can sell products, eventually open to exit and M&As. So maybe one suggestion, we could have like a godfather from the CAC 40 with each next 40 as someone in a CAC 40, and try to also learn from them and close the loop, shorten the gap between these large companies and us in Supergrow. We will know each other better, and maybe develop good businesses and strong growth for France and for our jobs in France.
Who would you like to have as your mentor from the CAC 40?
I think we are in the food and agri-food, and in the CAC 40 there are not so many in the food, and obviously I think above Danone they are B Corp also oriented like us. Could make sense.
Yeah, I think that all what we heard about is about cultural change. Because it's about cultural change when you say that we have to move from a state that is creating the environment to a state that is a client. But also it's about cultural change when you say that we have to change the way big corporations are behaving with you. Actually, because if there is any problems with the fact that that reuse is less developed than recycling, it's because you have big corporations advocating for recycling instead of reuse. And I think that one thing that we have to take to the next level is the cooperation between big companies and startups, because we have progress to be made within the state as far as being client is concerned, but this is also the case for big companies, either on taking over, and I know that you had a panel with Legrand and Netatmo a few minutes earlier, but there are not many examples. There are also with SNCF and BlaBlaCar, but there are not so many examples of big companies and startups cooperating together, and this is something we have to develop. But this is linked to what I said earlier, is that we have to make everybody aware in France and in Europe that this economy, the startup economy, is something that we have to support and to develop together on the long term.
Great, well thank you very much all of you, and well done for the awards.
Take a little walk to the edge of town and go across the track.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time you've been waiting for. Open bar, just behind us on the impact stage, and I'll call the entire board of France Digitale and the people from the next count on stage for a big, massive picture. Kat, please go over there. Board members and the amazing team of France Digitale, please on stage.
Dusty black coat with a red right hand.
Je crois qu'on peut vous applaudir aussi au passage. Faites pas tomber les prix.